Yo, peace and black power. It's your brother Knowledge from the line. Do Knowledge Radio. The place where knowledge is born.
Knowledge Radio.
This is 3K.
Think tank.
This is 3K. Hey. This is 3K.
I swear that knowledge is born. It's where I swear that knowledge is born. It's where I swear that knowledge is born. It's where I swear that knowledge is born. Who ran, who ducked, who down, return fire. We're the warriors, the healers, enlighteners, enlighten us. I'm tired of the same old, that game old with an upgrade. I'm a sunbathe in the sun rays while my guns blazing, they complain. Devil, my level not attainable. My metal, not malleable. I'm a man, didn't need that manual. Reparations is incalculable. Yeah, we wanted in blood, dead in the begging, head in the beheading, metal to the meddling. Members is aggressive, getting to the Armageddon. Karma, seem calmer when it comes to retribution. Caliber, catalyst in my clips and I use them on traitors and haters and the ones that spread confusion. Cause the devil's playground wasn't built for our amusement. Hey, meet me at the guard hour. Hey, in these strange days, you gon' need a strong counter. Spin like Beyblade. Impenetrable armor, Orient aura. This story, this saga get gory before it get calmer. Keep holding that revolutionary posture. 85 gon' dip and dodger, but when they get monster, they turn into MC Light, earrings, and become door knockers. I'm irate, they pirate the culture, send them to Davy Jones' locker. It's okay. Okay. Let them think that you lost it. Be patient, this type of thing you can't force it. Play possum, but nah, not know about the road that they can't comprehend cause the language is coded. We plan ideas and we plan explosives. Make your pockets go for more bits or more bread. The portal done open, they can't close it. You ain't got a sideline, you could cause more risk. No set birth date, no Dorian Gray portrait. It's about to get ugly and these devils can't forfeit ancestral memories, so no, I won't forget. What we building is an impenetrable fortress for sure. Every show is just like a courtship, and my flow for sure tighter than your gal's corset. It's okay. We are the source, you can't outsource it. Even Spartans don't want no parts, Nev. What do you know? Before you know it, 3,000 wild Africans at your doorstep. Hey, meet me at the guard hour. Hey, in these strange days, you gon' need a strong counter. Spin like Beyblade. No, we will not cower while the rest they play safe. We will move with God's power. This is not for play. Honor my ancestors, play the Orient day. Peace to you, loved ones, stay dangerous and stay safe. AKAs and AKs coming to make their caves cave. Wreck the race like take case, stay dangerous and stay safe.
Brothers just walk up on me, and they're just like, you know, you can just see the hunger in their eyes. Like as soon as you know what I mean? They was like, yo, you know, we a group, and we think that you would fuck with us, and you know, I'm telling you, like, we nice, and just give us a fucking chance type of shit, you know?
Yeah. What it is, my man Omar Wally was killing that. Yo, I don't know if you tuned in. I can't see who's on, who's not on. But yo, that was fire. I need that, man. That's something to work out to, bro. Get my pull-ups, push-ups, and dips in. You heard? Ambassador what it is.
Right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode
Peace
of
and
Radio.
power. Peace and power. Y'all don't even know we were building backstage for like a half hour. You know what I'm saying? But listen, knowledge is infinite, man. When True in here, man, we're going to keep going because the water keep flowing. You heard?
Word. So it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some, present to others. One who holds true to the adage of the babies are the greatest. Absolutely. And one who is doing his duty as a civilized person, teaching the babies indiscriminate to age. We got young babies, we got old babies. Wherever they are in their development, we have one who is continuously opening the way, continuously pushing the envelope as a thought leader, as one who speaks truth to power, a motivator, an inspirer, a trainer, a thought leader, an author.
Let's go.
A mastermind. Let's give it up for the one, the only, True Khepra. in the building.
Peace and power, everyone. What it is. Thank you, man. That was a powerful introduction. I need to bring you with me when I go speak at places. You got me hyped right now.
I'm available. Okay, I'm available. I'm available. You understand?
And you know, the science says, you're right. I appreciate that. You know, all the love and acknowledgement. At the core of it all, I'm a man that's striving to improve himself as well as his community. I live by two principles, King. Number one is to be the best version of myself in each moment. That doesn't mean I'm perfect, and that doesn't mean that each moment is actually my best. However, for the moment and my consciousness in the moment, I'm striving to do the best. That's number one. The second is to leave a person in any space that I occupy better than what it was before I got there. You know what I'm saying? So those are two principles that I live by. So with all of that you see me doing my duty as a civilized man, and the extracurricular activities that are like tentacles, that branch out, to my mind. It's all connected to that. I believe that our purpose, I believe that we are blessed with life to be the best version of ourselves and to contribute to our communities, contribute to our universe. And when I say universe, I mean wherever you are in the moment, that's your universe. So that's how I see it, my brother. And honestly, I can't live no other way. When I see people who have the knowledge, or when I see people who know better but don't do better, again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Let's get that clear. You know what I'm saying? But when I see people not adding on, like even today, I went running today in the mountains, and I did a quick short video, and I was saying that to be able to move is a blessing. Bro, I got life. I got health. I was born as a man. You get what I'm saying? So I want to invest in me. I want to also pay it forward by taking care of my body. So all of that is just all about adding on. I was taught builders build, and I'm a builder. That's my divine purpose, and that's what I'm all about. And I appreciate you having me on the show to build the Do the Knowledge Radio. At the core, that's what it's about. Knowledge is the foundation. You know what I'm saying? That's what we were taught. And as someone who has been through a lot in my life and has been transforming myself, it all starts with doing the knowledge. Well, it starts with having the desire to do better, and then doing the knowledge. My producer today, as a matter of fact, gave me some feedback on the video, and I applied the feedback. And he was like, man, I appreciate that, True. Like every time I give you feedback, you apply it. And I said, of course. You know what I'm saying? Again, knowledge is potential power. It doesn't become power until you apply it. So I'm going to apply it and get the power. So thank you, God.
Indeed, God. Mind that tech mind on that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So knowledge gives you the power to do or not do. You understand what I'm saying? It gives you the power to do or not do. So we here.
And awareness. Right. We see a lot of people in the community. Like, for example, I had a client, and he was a biochemist, scientist, a brother from Nigeria. And I was like, I'm actually going to have him on my podcast. I was like, wow, bro, you a biochemist? Like at his age, he was in his early 20s. Like that wasn't even within my 360. You know what I mean? But he had that knowledge. He had the awareness. So as long as you have the awareness, then you can manifest it. You can align yourself with it through vibrations, energy, and through ways and actions, of course. Work. You got to put the work in. And yeah, man. So knowledge is the app. It allows you to do or do not do, and it brings awareness. That's what we need more of in our community. That's why I appreciate Do the Knowledge Radio, because this is a media platform that brings awareness of certain messages that we need more of in the community. Word up.
Indeed. So my earliest recollection of you, you can tell your story however you see fit. Mm-hmm. Me connecting you is with the Liberation School. Mm-hmm. On Omawali's album, I heard the pledge from the children. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And after I wiped away the distills, you understand what I'm saying? I had my hand over my heart, like this is out here. So if we
Mm-hmm.
could go, you know, spend a little time, circulate a little time in regards to the Liberation School, the goals, the aims, the objectives, your vision, and how you kind of put the things together, I think that would be.
Yeah. So Liberation School came from an empowerment. It has an empowerment base. And I say that because as a parent, I was tired of complaining and whining about what white people weren't doing. And so I said to myself, you know, we can do something about this. So instead of complaining about what they're not teaching in the schools, why don't we start a program where we teach what we want them to learn? Because we got to stop expecting others to teach our children what we want them to learn. That's not their response. They have their own agenda, and we need to have ours. So that's where that came from. And I have to give credit to a brother that was in a new Black Panther Party by the name of Shaka Shakur from Harlem. Shaka Shakur, if you tune in, you know what I mean, salute to you. And he may not even know what these words did and the seed that they planted in my mind. He said he spoke about, like, bro, like, we don't need. One day we were having a conversation and he was talking about, like, yo, we don't need no elaborate buildings. School is wherever you teach at. He said, if you teaching under a tree, then that's school. And I took that like, wow. And so at the time, I owned property in East Orange, New Jersey. I'm from Paterson, New Jersey, but I owned a multifamily home in East Orange. So I was like, yo, that's powerful. Bet I'm going to turn my property into a school. And so that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? I did that with my amazing wife, and my two brothers, Omawali and Bumani. And, you know, I couldn't have gotten, you know, as far as I did with the program without their assistance, as well as the assistance of the community, you know, the sisters, Sister Jeanette, you know what I'm saying? And other people who would donate, you know, donate food, donate water, donate items, and also come in and teach as well. So it was really community based that we ran and took the charge of, but it was a community thing. And, you know, we still are in contact with the babies are adults now. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, one of our star students returned to the essence. Rest in power, Elijah. But they still talk about the memories of Liberation School and the lessons that they learned, and the unity that it brought amongst them. So like it created a universe amongst them because they went through the program together. And so yeah, it was just amazing, man. And again, I was just being a man. I it's just, as a man, it's my duties. You know what I mean? It's just that's just what it's about for me. You know what I'm saying? When people have knowledge, like, I feel like if you have knowledge of self and you ain't doing nothing with it. And when I say knowledge of self, I don't just mean being a member of the Nation of God's Earth or 5%. Like, none of that. If you know who you are to some capacity and you have some knowledge and wisdom that you can contribute to others, to the community, that can assist with empowering and elevating the community, it is your duty. I was taught at a very young age that you are held accountable for what you know. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I'm aware of, I'm held accountable for that. And I truly love my people. I truly love my community. So whenever I come across somebody, it's not even a thing that I do. It's a part of who I am. You know what I mean? I'm gonna build and I'm gonna share whatever it is that I know.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So even though Liberation School as a program may not exist, the the ethos and mission and purpose of what Liberation School stood for. You know, liberation, you take the word liberation, which is, so I don't celebrate Juneteenth. And the reason why I don't celebrate Juneteenth, and I'm not knocking anybody that does, you know, do your thing, because it celebrates, you know, freedom that was given to you. So people are saying, hey, you know, white man freed us. Great. We're going to celebrate. Nah. I celebrate liberation. I celebrate the freedom that we took for ourselves. I celebrate the liberators. So that's what I'm about. So liberation, obviously, you know, we're dealing with the mind, right? Nana Kunti said, the first one to the mind wins. And so, me, a big student of psychology, I learned that from the ages 0 to 7, that's called the imprint stage. And what you experience neurologically and what you learn, like the love that you feel, the nurturing that you feel, or the trauma, all of that, it becomes imprinted on you and becomes it can even affect you as an adult. It doesn't mean that you're stuck. My book is called The Power of Choice. So I never believe that you're stuck. However, it just becomes imprinted in your neurological system. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so we wanted to make sure that we get to the babies early. But I also, build with young men, the term that most people know as mentor. We know the origins of that word, but we speak English, right? It's a language that we universally speak. So I also mentor young men in their 20s, early 30s, and even some men my age, you know what I mean? So Liberation School lives on and continues in my heart and in my mind, even though it's no longer a program or an institution, so to speak.
It's a lifestyle, and
Indeed.
and that's why I brought it up
Indeed.
as a place of an origin. That's my origin. So as long as I know of you, that's how I know you in that space. I know you
Ashe.
in that space, and you could judge a nation by its flag, like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and you could judge a tree by the fruit it bears. So
Ashe.
I got a chance to interact with some of those people that came from that space. It was a transformative space, and it reminded me of the community that I grew up in. There were teachers that taught me martial arts, that taught me some of the social sciences, that taught me the history. They was just in the neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? They taught me a culture. They taught me a way of pride. So these
No
things
doubt.
were in addition to the things that I learned at home. So it
Mm,
was a positive reinforcement. And
mhm.
sometimes the other reinforcement was a corrective reinforcement that was there. You see what I'm saying? So you have a very redemptive story, a story of transformation, a story of reinvention. So I want to give you the latitude to be able to share whatever you wish to share on your takeaways from your journey on your pathway to reinvention and on the pathway of reformation.
Yeah, man, where do we start, my brother? I will probably do better with questions, but what I will share is that I come from Patterson, New Jersey. If you're not, for the audience out there, if you're not familiar with Patterson, it's just like every other hood in America. A lot of violence, drugs, and things of that nature. And I too fell a victim of that since early on as a child. So much so that I got sent to California for a few years because already by the age of like 10, 11 years old, I already had cops looking for me and my crew, you know what I'm saying, because of the things that we were doing. At 10, 11 years old, my best friend, who we called Gumby, his name was Henry Cruz, already was stabbed by a mutual friend that we knew from the projects, Grand Street Projects. I seen my first body. I seen a man. To this day, we don't know if he jumped out the window or was thrown out the window. I seen my first body. I seen a man flying from the third floor and hit the pavement. I seen that with my own eyes as a child. So growing up in poverty, and poverty is perspective. Let me say that, and it's all perspective because poverty that I grew up in is compared to somebody in Calcutta somewhere, that's real poverty. Or even with my family from Dominican Republic, that's real poverty. But I grew up relatively in a low income household, single parent household, going through a lot, man. And I fell a victim to the drug game. I actually didn't start selling drugs in Jersey. I started selling drugs in California. I got connected through someone that was connected through the cartel and was selling weed out there in Cali. You remember there was like I had stashes in people's lockers. They going through my locker and I'm laughing at them like, yo, you think I'm gonna keep it in my own locker? You bugging. You know what I mean? But stealing cars and just got into the lifestyle of crime. And back then it was blocks. It was what block you from. So I'm from 10th Ave and 23rd. I still rep 10th Ave and 23rd to this day, and I'll still be out there. But obviously, I don't partake into the negative activities. But it's a part of who I am. I tell people, you know what I mean. I'm like a coin. You know what I'm saying. You can't have one without the other. You can't have this true without the block true. You know what I'm saying? So I embrace it all. So eventually, you know, a big start to my evolution, I like to say, was when I was introduced to knowledge itself, you know, through by way of the nation of gods and earths, because it started to refine my thinking. And I think one of the most impactful contributions that the nation did for me was that it gave me a profound love, desire, and passion for learning. You know what I mean? I would take at that point, you know what I mean? I was going to East Side High. If anybody seen the movie Lean on Me, that's the high school that I went to.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? So I would be in class. I
I
ain't
was there
doing
for
this.
one day, Lord.
Oh,
Word is coming.
word,
Yeah, yeah. I was
word.
there for one
What,
one
what
day.
year? What year?
97.
Yo, that's
Well,
funny.
no, pardon me. 96. 96.
I was there in '96. That's hilarious. Yo, that's been funny. We like cross paths somehow. But yeah, so I was introduced to knowledge itself through the nation of gods and earths, and it gave me a profound passion, desire, and respect, and just value for knowledge. And at that point, you know what I'm saying, I was like failing miserably, horribly in school, but I loved the lesson. So Stickman said in the intro, I don't know if it was a song or an intro, he said something about like, yo, I hated school, but I love to learn. And I resonate with that. Yeah, I hated school. School was whack. Y'all went for the girls, basically, but I love to learn. You know what I'm saying? So I would be in there studying my lessons, cutting class, smoking. I don't smoke no more, but at the time, pull up in a stolen car. You know what I'm saying? Just wilding, fam. But it wasn't an overnight process. You know what I'm saying? I was getting knowledge of self, but I was also in the streets real heavy. And just, through some trials and tribulation, catching charges as a juvenile, catching charges as an adult. And then eventually my daughter was born. That was another pivotal moment in my life because I didn't want to repeat the cycle that, number one, I grew up in a single parent household. And just the cycle that I seen in my community. One thing about me, I would like to think that um, I'm a good observer of things and connecting dots. So I knew without knowing that one thing that wasn't, now I know it, right? But back then, I knew that one of our major issues was the fact that we were broken families. And although I'm no longer with the mother of my oldest daughter, I knew that I was going to play my part as a man. And I ain't talking about just taking her to damn Chuck E. Cheese's and the movies. No, I'm talking about I'm being an active father. I'm gonna teach. I'm gonna show her what a man is like and whatnot. That's my oldest. She's 25 right now. But so I was catching charges. I was facing 10 years at one time. And I was just like, yo, I gotta do better for myself. I'm giving you like the fast forward version of the story, obviously. You know what I mean? I don't want to bore your audience with all the minute details. And yeah, bro, I was just like, yo, I gotta do something myself. And in the meanwhile, I got friends that's facing, that's doing time. You know what I'm saying? I got friends that's dying, friends that's like becoming addicted to drugs and whatnot. And at the time I was addicted to alcohol, you know what I'm saying, and weed. So, I was just like, again, observing all of that. And I just had a desire to do better. And the nation was great because what the nation did with somebody like me, I was never with institutionalized type religion. That never sat well with me. So as a how do I say, as a vehicle to growth, that way wasn't gonna work with me. But the way the nation taught it, and it also gave me pride as a black man and taught me that I was a supreme being. Wow. Hold up. I'm supreme? You know what I mean? So, in the meanwhile, I'm getting money. I'm getting crack money. I'm selling weed, and I'm learning that I'm supreme. That my nature is supreme. That my culture is righteousness. I'm learning that my ancestors built civilizations and all of this, that, and the third. And so, all of that is resonating with me, and it just like really touched me. And I wanted to represent that. I wanted to reflect that by modeling that, what I mean, through my thinking, my speaking, as well as my behaving. And again, it took time. It took time. I didn't leave. I got knowledge of self at the age of 15. I joined the nation at the age of 16. I didn't leave the streets alone to 2006. So as you can see, this was not an overnight thing. Like, oh, I got knowledge of self. The next day, I'm righteous and conscious and this upright man. No, 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 no. It's a journey, and it's still a journey. I'm still growing. I'm still making mistakes. You know what I mean? And as I enter different stages of my life as a man in his mid-40s, there's a certain stage now where I gotta learn to master and juggle the responsibilities and the many hats that I wear, so to speak. So, it's a continuum of growth, development, and learning. Your show is called Do the Knowledge, so I have to continuously do the knowledge and stay sharp. So that's I would say in a nutshell, that's pretty much my journey. I got into consciousness, knowledge of self, Pan-Africanism, and just yeah, here I am. And then I started to then evolve into the sciences of the mind and personal development and less of the historical stuff, not because it's not relevant or it's not needed, but for me, it's it was time for me to just get into something else. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I am, and that's my passion. That's what I love to do. One thing about me is that I strive to do and surround myself with energy, frequency, and vibration that uplifts me, makes me feel good. Not to say that I have to feel good, but it has to resonate with me. And I say that because there's some people that are slaves to what makes them feel good. That's why they're addicted to sugar. That's why they're addicted to sex. That's why they're addicted to external things, because all they want to do is feel good. And that's why they stay away from doing certain things that require discipline, that require work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not easy and it doesn't feel good. So it's not that when I say surround myself with what feels good. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's an energetic vibration that I feel when I'm living my purpose. And to the point that when I wasn't at one time, all I was doing was getting money. I'm not talking about the drug game. I'm talking about like recently, I fell on some financial hard times. So I was out here just getting to the bag. And I didn't know, but I fell into depression unconsciously. And it's crazy because I'm Mr. Positive, I'm Mr. Empowerment, right? And I fell into a state of depression. And thankfully, I have amazing people in my life that are straight up with me. I have no yes men or no yes women in my life. And by the way, I have to say this: there will be no true as a successful man that I am today without the people in my life. You'll never hear me say I'm a self-made man. I know people say that, and that's cool if they say that. And I understand that I put in the work, I put in the time, yes, but I am nothing without my supporters. I am nothing without the people that held me accountable. I am nothing without my teachers. I am nothing without people who invest in what I put out, like my books. I am nothing without the people who listen to my podcast, who give me feedback. I am nothing without those people. So that's a huge part of my success also, are the people in my life. And so the people in my life was pointing it out, like, bro, you don't sound like yourself. And my mother-in-law even told me, like, bro, True, are you depressed? I was like, nah, I ain't depressed. I'm good. But I now getting up out of that, you know what I'm saying? It's like a fish. A fish doesn't know it's in water. So at the time, I didn't know. But you know what I'm saying? Pardon me, I got a text that threw me off. Let me shut that notification off. Pardon self. But so all right. So basically, pardon self, I got up out of that, you know what I'm saying? Took myself up out of that because I wasn't living my purpose. That's what I was getting to. Because I wasn't living my purpose, I got into a negative slump. And so that's what I mean, feel good. You know what I'm saying? I'm making sure that it resonates with my mind and my heart. So yeah, that's what it is, King. You know what I'm saying? In a short version of the story, um, transformation and personal development, you know what I'm saying? I would say that that's a damn. I've written for magazines. I've spoken in many places, telling my story and also sharing personal development insights, programs, schools, youth prison. And I became an author, wrote my own book as well. You know what I'm saying? And I wrote my book. So I have 3 books in my mind, bro. Like right now, if I had the time, I will give you 3 books in maybe a week. You know what I'm saying? So I have 3 books in my mind, and just it's all connected to who I am, bro. I speak. I'm a writer. and I'm a podcaster, and I'm here just to spread the message of personal development, empowerment, and masculinity. Not that that my work is limited to men, no, but I do have a passion, and I think that it's needed to spread the message of powerful masculinity. Because again, an observer, I see that men, the masculine energy is missing from the homes, and not only from the homes, from the communities, from the institutions, the schools, and then you have men that are in the home, but they're not acting masculine. You know what I mean? So a dude would be like, "Well, I'm in the home," but if you ain't in tune with your masculine energy, then you know what I'm saying, you're not really in the home, King. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I strive to do, and just lead by example. I make my mistakes at times, and I strive to learn from those mistakes. And again, that's all part of the journey. And I say that to say, because men need to know that it's okay to not be okay at times as well. And so, again, leading by example, let me be the first to tell you that I'm not okay all the time. Again, I have an amazing collective men that I reach out to, you know what I'm saying? And that are holding me accountable, and I hold them accountable. And I think that that's important, because in our nature, in our essence, and if you study us from a traditional setting, men were with men, training with men, hunting with men, building. I mean, building, for the audience who may not know what that means, not just talking, but having conversations that are constructive and sharing wisdom and learning from each other, as well as battles in life, so to speak. So, yeah, King, that's just what I'm about, man. Building, builders build. You heard?
100%. 100%. So let's
Yeah,
go into the writing journey. The writing
yeah,
journey, what place, what was the catalyst? How did
yeah.
you figure that out? Like, what was that process that led you? And then after you created this book, this Power of Choice, the title is ill. How was
Mhm.
it received? You see what I'm saying? After it was done, how was it? How did you feel about it? And then how was it received by the people who you interacted with, to know you in this particular space?
I love that question, and I appreciate that question. So check this out, bro. Hard to believe, not for you, but for me, when I think about it, I remember being in Cali. I was living in Cali at the time. So mind you, seventh, eighth grade, maybe, when I got sent there. Seventh grade, I got sent there. But when I had this thought, I might have been in seventh or eighth grade. I don't know why, King, but I remember knowing that I was going to write a book. You real talk, bro. Real talk, bro. You heard? I just knew I was going to write a book. And I have the book title that I came up with. I haven't wrote that book yet, and I'm not gonna say it on purpose, because I don't want nobody to run with it. You know what I'm saying? Not you, because I know you're an upright man, but people in the ether. You know what I'm saying? So I still have that title, and that's a special book, and I haven't achieved certain things for me to write that book. So that book is coming. I just want to say that real quick. So when in living in Cali, my stepmother, her name was Lupe, an amazing, amazing lady. As a form of punishment, I would have to be in my room. It's hilarious. I tell people it's like some white people stuff. So you hear this when I speak about my journey. It was like some white people stuff. Like I had to like stay in my room. Like my mother, like I would just get beaten. You know what I'm saying? But when I was living in Canada, she'd be like, "Yo, go to your room," and I had to be in my room all day or for a few days. It was, you know what I'm saying? No TV. You gotta remember, you know what I mean? I'm a man in my mid-40s. No cell phones. No none of that. And so there were books, but they were these like story books, right? All of this is connected. So I tell people this. For me, it's never like one thing. For me, it's my life here like that. So for me, it's a process and a multitude of things that happen, and it all contributes. Now I can tell you pivotal moments like my daughter being born, joining the nation. Those are pivotal moments that kind of stand out, but it's all part of the process. So I fell in love with, while I was on punishment, I fell in love with reading these story books or whatever the case is. And I started to like really like get into the style of writing, and like how the writing was able to take me to a place in my mind. And so we got to put that on pause because that contributed to me being a writer. And so fast forward, I wanted to write a book. Like I said, then I wanted to consciously write a book, intentionally write a book, because books saved my life. Your show is called Do the Knowledge Radio. Man, there's so many books, bro, that contributed to my personal development and elevation as a man, bro. You understand what I'm saying? And so I wanted to almost like pay it forward. I felt indebted to the to the writing author universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I gotta contribute to that. I want to create something that can affect others like these books empowered and affected me. You get what I'm saying? So that was the whole thinking of it. And this book that you see here, this isn't the original manuscript, because the original manuscript was all over the place. And my editor at the time was like, yo, this is like, we can go a lot of different ways with this. How you want to do this? Is it you want to do like an biography? I was like, nah, I don't want to do an autobiography, because I feel like there's so much that I want to achieve first, and there's so much that I want to do that I'm not ready for that yet. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I want it to be like a self-help book, like those are my favorite books. Those are the only books that I read at this point in time. And so we started to then like pick through the manuscript and whatnot about the self-help principles. And then I took a course with Baba Chike Akua. Baba Chike Akua, look him up. It was called Boot Camp for Speakers, or Boot Camp for something, Speakers Boot Camp, out in Atlanta. Flew down there, took the course, and he taught us how to basically outline a book properly, and so forth, how to reverse engineer. I learned that from Chike Akua. You see, my brother, I told you earlier that I am not self-made. You know what I'm saying? Baba Chike Akua DNA, spiritual DNA, is all through my success as well. You get what I'm saying? Just like many others. And so I just wanted to contribute, my brother. I just wanted to contribute to the universe, wanted to contribute to the community. I knew that I have something to say, and I can uniquely say those things. Because when you look at personal development messages, a lot of them are very similar. A lot of them are the same, just like religions. A lot of them are similar. A lot of them are saying the same thing, just different characters, different times, and some mysticism and things like that, spookism and things and whatnot. But for the most part, it's all universally the same message. What's different is the vehicle. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to represent my demographic and where I come from, and wanted to do it different. Like, for example, in this book, I start the book with quotes, right? Now, most people quote the same thing, like quote the same people, Earl Nightingale and people like that, you know what I'm saying? Or even conscious people, right? They quote the same people, Malcolm X, you know what I mean? Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. They may throw a Dr. Huey P. You know what quotes I'm using in here? I'm using rappers. I'm gonna tell you why I'm using rappers, though. Not that I agree with all of the rappers' messages and whatnot, but the reason I'm using rappers is because hip hop is a major part of who I am, right? And because a lot of MCs come from where I come from, and what I did is I extracted the conscious parts of these, and these aren't like conscious rappers, but I extracted the conscious parts to show that even within darkness, there's light. And guess what? That's me. That's what I'm a representation of. If you see me, you see light. I came from the dark. You get what I'm saying? That's what made me. That's what bred me. That's what nurtured me. So again, it goes back to, you can't have one without the other. So I wanted to be unique. And so what I did was quote rappers. So if you see anybody else quote conscious lyrics from MCs or rappers, now you know True Khepra did it first, and the power of choice. You are not stuck. And with that said, the reason why I called it the power of choice is because I realized, right, when you and I were backstage, you mentioned my good brother Maruki, the silent teacher, which we just dropped an episode on my podcast, Raw Success Podcast, interviewing him. He was someone that come from where I come from. And I would even say he had it worse than me, because his father got killed in a bar when he was younger. My father wasn't consistent in my life, but my father was alive, and I did communicate. And my father now, him and I have a great relationship for the most part. But his father got killed in the bar when he was young, and his mother was on drugs. So his lead, what's the word? Parents, for lack of a better word, you know what I'm saying, was on drugs, crack cocaine. You know what I'm saying? And who knows what else? And he's okay with me telling this story. I dedicated a chapter in my book to Maruki, and I had him on a podcast and we spoke about it. So I could say this publicly. So, you know, my mother wasn't on drugs. So we come from the same hood, Patterson, New Jersey. But guess what? Maruki don't got no charges. I'm a felon. Maruki's not a felon. Maruki never sold drugs. Maruki never stole cars. Maruki, you know what I'm saying? He's an amazing pops. You know what I mean? He's a professional. You know what I mean? Got a degree. He's a vet. So what's the difference? True took some choices and ran with it. Maruki took some choices and ran with it. So even within the community that we come from, and I come from that community, so I know more than anybody the obstacles and the traps that are in it. I fell for most of them. But at the end of the day, it's all about your choices, you know what I'm saying, in life. And we have to really, really wake up to that. Even now, I'm going through some things right now as an adult, bro. You know what I'm saying, in my life that I'm challenged with now. And I have to recognize those are byproducts and a reflection of my choices, what I did and or what I didn't do. You know what I'm saying? And so, and you are not stuck. It's really that's my message, that you are not stuck. You know, I'm a dude from the block. You know what I mean? And so that's and I again I see, and this is not to not judge or anything like that, because again, these are my people. That's where I come from. But I see a lot of people that come from where I come from, man. They think that they're stuck. They think that there's no opportunities or things that they can take advantage of. And I'm not just talking about financial stuff. I'm not talking about just jobs. I'm talking about thinking. You know what I'm saying? I'm you know, and like one thing that I talk about in my book, I was raised around real gangsters. Like some dudes I know, they like went in the early 2000s, and I just asked about one of my mans today. He ain't coming home till 15 more years later. He got locked up when we were in our early 2000s. You know, he killed somebody in broad daylight. And so I grew up around some real gangsters. But I noticed when it comes to making changes in life, when it comes to putting themselves in certain positions that would take some effort and some discomfort and some, you know, maybe acting different or leaving some of your traditional ways, they cower. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's all about awareness and a whole bunch of other things that, you know, no need to get into. And listen, I know, you know, your listeners may talk about racism and, so-called white supremacy. I don't say that because I don't believe white people are superior than me. And I totally get that. Trust me, I'm a man with knowledge of self. I know what the system has done, what they're capable of, and what they're doing. But even with that being said, when I say but, not a contradiction, I mean born universal truth added on to that, there's still choices. There's still things that we can do. And instead of complaining about them, let's build our own, right? And I know that's easier said than done. And many people have spoke about building our own and all of that. I get it. My whole point of bringing that up is, for me, I just got tired of making up excuses. I got tired of whining, got tired of complaining. That's not manly, bro. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's just not what I'm about anymore. And I don't really want to hear that, bro. I don't even follow a lot of conscious people, bro, because I don't want that energy in my space. You know what I'm saying? What I want to be around is empowerment, bro. Again, I'm not dumb. I'm a man that's very aware of what's happening, but I can choose what I listen to, and not to say I'm ignoring. Again, I'm not putting a blind eye to it, but I can choose what I listen to and what I not listen to, and I choose to be empowered. Put me with the warriors. You know what I mean? Not the complainers and the whiners. So that's what the book is about. The power of choice. You are not stuck, and that's what that represents. And the back is written by my oldest daughter that I spoke about earlier, Lanasia. You know what I'm saying? When Lanasia was born, I was still in the streets, heavy. You know what I'm saying? So she's the one that bear witness to a lot of my transformation. Like even here, she talks about let me see. He went from being a man who drank all the time, was never home, constantly outside, going to parties, to the same man who takes us to conscious events, has a library of over 500 books about personal development, our African history, financial freedom, and more. He has helped dozens of people without even trying to. Using his knowledge and the tiniest bit of advice, he changed many people's lives. So, this, that's what my daughter was saying in back of the book. She bear witness. And I always tell her she saved my life because she was a catalyst to my transformation. But yeah, bro, that's the science behind the book, my brother.
So when it was done and it was out in circulation, I wanted to ask about that. How was it received? What were your thoughts and feelings in regards to taking something from the unseen to the seen to it being seen and heard everywhere for you? And then what was that catalyst like going out there and, interfacing with people? And what is something that you could say that somebody said to you that was profound, that took you aback about something that you wrote?
Yeah. Great, bro. I love these questions, bro. So, man, creating the unseen to the seen. Let's start there. I struggled with celebrating the book because I went through such a journey putting this book out in life, and it affected the book. Like I ran out of resources. You know what I'm saying? Meaning I ran out of money. So the book was on pause. I was dealing with some life challenges. Um, and also like just the book itself, like different editors, what I'm saying, not doing what they were supposed to do. And, just like, and again, all of that was a learning experience because the next time around, none of that will happen again. Trust. You know what I mean? So when the book was finally done, it was really tough for me to celebrate it because I was attached to the negativity, and I had to really let that go and feed off the energy of the people. You know what I'm saying? And what the people's like, yo, you wrote a book. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, da, da, da. And for me, it was like, yo, you know what I mean? It really wasn't a big deal. I know that sounds crazy, but for me, it wasn't a big deal. The other thing is, too, that part of my trauma is I'm super hypercritical on myself. I'm very hard on myself. And that makes it very challenging, excuse me, to celebrate my victories in life and my accomplishments. Because what I see is uh, what can be done better, what else needs to be done, how I got more things I want to do, and so I'm striving. That's like part of like my journey now is really being able to slow down and celebrate the victories. It's important. It's important to do that. So that was the science of bringing the unseen to the seen. And in terms of feedback, so two things I want to say that for one, let me answer your question. The feedback has been overwhelmingly great. And again, I don't have any yes men in my life. You know what I'm saying? So there's people that have reached out to me personally and really broke down how the book has been beneficial to them. And bro, even talking about it right now makes me tear up. You know what I mean? Because wow, like more importantly than writing a book, it's the intention behind it, bro. Like I really just want to empower people. I spent a long time in my early years being destructive. And so this book is almost like you said it earlier, like a redemption piece. You know what I mean? But so the feedback has been great. I would say the worst feedback that I got, which to me wasn't a negative feedback, is that it was written in a simple way. Somebody had mentioned that it was a sister actually said it. A sister and a brother said it actually. Two people said that it was simple and it's like a beginner's guide. And I was like, great, because I purposely, and I even say it in the intro of the book, I can find it, that I purposely left out technical jargon. I purposely made the book simple because this is the thing. When I wrote the book and when I speak, you know who I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about my homies on 10th Ave and 23rd. I care less about academia. You think I care about their respect? You think so? I got knowledge of self, bro. I don't care about no master's degree, no doctorate, bro. I got the most important thing a man can have. That's knowledge of myself and about who I am. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who comes with any of those degrees, and by the way, I have a degree, by the way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going back to the university to get more degrees because I want to. But I don't respect that. You know what I'm saying? What I thought about when I wrote this book is my man's from the block. I think about my people from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So they not into big vocabulary words. They're not into that. Most of them don't even read. So I wanted to make it so that anyone can pick up this book, learn the complex, abstract perspectives that's in this book in a very simple way. That's number one. Number two, I read a book when I was young. I always say this book was profound. It was, I don't say the N word, but the title has the N word in it. So I'm going to say it only because of that. It was called From Niggas to Gods, Part 1 by Akil, A-K-I-L. Had a beige book, Part 1. Part 2 was the red book. I love that book so much.
You know, I was writing that book when I was 9.
Wow. You were writing it?
I was writing that book, a book like it, not with the same title.
Wow.
So
yeah,
I read something that said 80% of Americans want to write a book. Out of that 80% that want to write the book, 3% actually write the book, and then 1% that write the book from start to finish actually get it published.
Wow. So I'm part of a
writing
1%.
that book. Right. I was writing that book, a book full of essays on Black empowerment and improvement, 9 years old. I started writing it and I stopped writing it.
Wow.
And
wow.
He has the book. You see what I'm saying? You know, you got 2 volumes. That first volume, that was my writing. You understand what I'm saying? So even what you do or you don't do, somebody else will do it if they're supposed to do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, so literally, I didn't mean to cut in just now, but like literally when you said that book, that's one of the books
that triggered something.
Right. Yeah. I was writing that book, Lord. So when I read it, I was like, man, this is the book I was writing.
Yeah. So one thing about me, my brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm my brother's keeper. With that being said, I challenge you to write that book still. You know what I'm saying? Because that book is still necessary, and it's still necessary coming from you, from your unique perspective, from your unique way of writing, and from your unique insights. So that book is still needed, and you still have a lot of life in you. So get that book done, and let me know when that book will be done, God, because I'm gonna hold you accountable to that. So with that being said, that book by Akil, to me, is so profound, bro. I spent hundreds of dollars buying that book. I used to give them away. So I shout out to Akil, and hopefully I'll get to meet him if he's still alive. I'm not even sure. Because I want him to know that he don't even know his spiritual DNA is also in this book. You know what I'm saying? Not the concepts, but the style of it. And I wouldn't say mine is as simplistic as his, but I also, so that's another adoption to that is I was taught very young that a wise person with understanding can take a complex concept and break it down so that a baby can understand. So again, I don't care about your academia. I don't care about how well you speak. And I speak well. I can hang with the best of them. My question is, can you make somebody from 10th Ave and 23rd understand that concept to the point where he can apply it in that moment as soon as he learns it to improve his life? And if you can't do that, you and I are not the same, because that's what I'm about, because that's where I come from. And that's where my allegiance is to. Not limited to, but allegiances to. Straight up. So that's the science, man, behind the book.
Most definitely, most definitely. I
Mhm.
appreciate that, and I appreciate you for being part of that 1%. You understand what I'm saying? That one
Thank
percent
you.
that saw something from start to finish, and that's in the book aspect, and the fact that you involved your family in the process. Your daughter is there writing from her perspective. You understand what I'm saying? Like she's writing from her perspective, and if you know one thing about a daughter, she ain't about to lie for you.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
understand what I'm saying? She ain't
yeah.
about to lie for you or lie on you. You understand what I'm
But
saying? So
check this out, my
yeah.
brother. When you're a family man, a real
Mhm.
serious family man, your family's involved whether they writing in it or not. And I tell you why, because my family has, just like I sacrifice my time, my discipline, my family's also sacrificing their time away that I'm not with them, especially my wife. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm in at the time when I was in the basement writing this book or whatever the case is, she's holding down the front, the fort, excuse me. She's holding down the fort and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with my children. Time I could have been spending time with them, and I'm out here, doing work in the community, or I'm working on my projects or my entrepreneur endeavors. So they're involved, whether they are actively involved or not, they're involved. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful, and I communicate with them, and I make them a part of the process as much as possible. Even now, like I'm studying for a certain certification, and I let them know. We got a group chat. I was like, yo, listen, I'm studying for the cert right now. So if it seems like I'm a little distant, please, there's nothing wrong, nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, because I want them to know, like, I care about them, and I understand that it's a sacrifice for them too.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you something a little off. Well, back from where we were at, we're
Yeah,
at the
let's get it,
redemption
bro. Let's get
space.
it.
Have you forgiven yourself for who you were? Have you reconciled that space within yourself? Have you forgiven yourself from the life that you live? I know you transformed yourself, you reinvented yourself, everything, but have you gone through that process of redeeming yourself from the inside out in the way of forgiveness? And if you did, can you describe the process? If you didn't, is this something you're working on?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think I have. I think I have forgiven myself. Where there's still some pain involved is the things that I put my mother through. And I would like to think that now, the person that I am now, my mother is proud of who I am and what I've done and what I stand for. But I really put my mother through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so, although I've apologized, but like, can you imagine? Like, I remember when I was shackled up from head to toe, what I'm saying, coming up in the courtroom, what I'm saying, and I remember looking to the side and seeing my mother's face, what I'm saying, and just like the her look, bro. Like, even to this day, like, mind you, I left the streets alone in 2006, so give you an idea of how long ago that was. Like, seeing my mother's face, looking at her only son shackled from wrist to ankle, and looking at her face, man, that woman came here from DR, from Dominican Republic, by herself, striving to do her best, give me the best life she could give me, my sister, and my sister got a different father. And this is what her son does. This is what I'm into now. And so, and I think that part has caused some what's the word I would say? Not tension. There's no tension between my mother and I, but it's like a thing there. You know what I'm saying? And even now, like, if my mother finds out I was on the block, because I still go on the block, my mother would be like, "Yo, be easy." I'm like, "Mom, come on." You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, "Yo, you don't trust me?" Like, but so I would like to think that I did forgive myself, my brother. And who knows, maybe all this work that I'm doing, a part of it, is not only for the community, but I would say that it's also for me, for my own retribution, so to speak. just knowing that I'm paying it forward and striving to patch up some of the things, you know. And I pay my debts to society as far as like, government stuff. But so my journey to self-healing starts with definitely a lot of personal development, and not just reading books. I've invested thousands of dollars on programs where I physically am going to a program and like staying there for hours and speaking, other people are speaking. So like not just sitting there in front of, like, people talk about personal development programs, like they just sit in front of a computer and listen to like wisdom all day. Nah, I'm talking about like really going inside, digging deep about what bothers you, your pain, your story, your victimhood, and your perspective, like really being challenged. I'm purposely not shouting out those programs, the names of those programs, because they don't pay me to promote for them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an empowerment coach. I take the tools that I learn and I apply it with my clients. So, but just know that I spent thousands of dollars on personal development programs. There's a joke amongst the psychology world and even coaching world that most of us became coaches or psychologists. Like, I'm not a psychologist, but friends, really to like work on ourselves. And then we end up with these titles, you know what I'm saying? Because we went through the battlefield. So there's that. Then there's also like apologizing. Like, I've apologized to my ex, the mother of my first two children, apologized to my mother. My father and I had a heart to heart. You know what I mean? So there's also like communicating. And to this day, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still have to have those type of conversations, really uncomfortable conversations with people about some of the stuff that I've done, and being at peace with that. And so in addition to that, then I've also had therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was into therapy before therapy was even a thing. When therapy was stigmatized, I was doing therapy back then. You know what I'm saying? I've been into therapy for a very long time, and I'm still in therapy. Um, I was first actually psych evaluated when I was a child in Cali. You know what I'm saying? My stepmom Lupe, the woman I was living with at the time, she took me to get evaluated because of just some of the things that I was like saying and doing and drawing. Just had a lot of like violence and aggression. Not me. Like, I wasn't hurting anybody, but it was present. It was there. So therapy, my brother, um, and constantly just growing. And I think something that helps me too is that I'm what people may label extrovert, meaning I speak. I'm all about social. I'm a very social person, and I have no problem with speaking my feelings and my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I'm for the most part open book. No, now I wouldn't say no shame in my game. That would be a little extreme. But I've always been like that. Like, if you ask me that you're good, how you feel? Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, yeah, I don't feel too well. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that that's a superpower where I'm not afraid to tell you, like I said earlier, that I'm not okay. I don't feel no type of way. I don't think I'm weak. I don't none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think like my nature also, my natural nature to be able to do that also has assisted me with self-healing. And then the other thing too is really just, refining my ways and actions. You know what I'm saying? It's just like how they say, when you know better, you do better. I think that also helps with the forgiveness piece, and then just continuing to work. So that's the aspect, and then another piece that I mentioned earlier, that I'm an observer. I think something that I do very well is self-reflect. Just really self-reflect and really look at myself first. I came up with a system called racks. It's a system that I speak, and it's like an extensive thing that it's a course, It's something I use with clients, and is also like a speaking piece. And what RAC stands for is responsibility. That's the R. The A stands for action accountability. The C stands for clarity. The K stands for keeping your commitments, and your S stands for self-development. So those principles are is also what helped me heal, which is why I came up with that acronym and why I came up with that system. So to answer your question, I would say, yeah, I've forgiven myself, you know, and still continue, you know, when I make mistakes, still continue to like, okay. I remember hearing that the best apology is not saying sorry, but a change of behavior. So I strive to live by that for the most part when I mess up.
So let's talk about the coach journey, the speaking journey, and also let's unpack the Raw Success podcast. This
Yeah,
amazing work that you got going on. So let's end with these three topics right here.
no doubt. So the
Let's
coach
talk about
journey.
the coach journey. What was the process like? You see what I'm saying? And then the speaking journey. How did you get in that? Are they co-mingled, co-related? And then let's end with the podcast.
No doubt, no doubt. They are co-mingled, but they don't have to be. And I'll break it down. So the coach journey started. I was already coaching before I became a coach. It's just I just wasn't doing it as a form of business, you know, and it wasn't really structured. I've been coaching since I was probably, I would say, since at least since high school. Like I got people from all the way from Cali because I did my freshman year in Cali. People I'm still connected with today that would tell me stories how I would be building with them and giving them advice and whatnot. And giving advice is not coaching, but it's relative, right? It's in the you see the nature of what's happening. Interesting thing, when I meet a lot of people who knew the old True and know me as the new True now, a lot of them say they're not surprised because they seen the elements of who I am today back then. So that's always interesting to me. So I decided, you know, I'm a professional. You know, I have a job, I have a career, went to school for it and everything, and I love what I do. I definitely do, but I wouldn't say it's my purpose. I wouldn't say my profession now, my career now is my purpose. I appreciate it because it took me off the streets. You know what I mean? I went from selling drugs to becoming, you know, what I do now full time. And so I was like, you know, let me do that. Let me, you know, these coaches that was popping up. And I was seeing like a lot of them ain't even like, and I ain't knocking nobody for what they do, bro. I hope I don't sound like a hater. Definitely ain't none of that with me. But I was like, a lot of them ain't even thorough like that. Like I seen some people profiting, making money off of coaching that I knew, and I was like, they ain't even thorough like that. They ain't even really like been through nothing. Like, not to say you have to go through things or go through like what I went through, but I just knew like these people were just reading books and regurgitating what they read in books. Like I noticed, you know what I'm saying? And so I saw that that became a profession. And so that's one piece. And also people were suggesting that I do that. You know what I mean? So I listened to my feedback from the people around me. People were talking about, yo, you should be a therapist, you should become a counselor. I couldn't work in schools because of my record. So that was out the way. Therapist, at the time, I didn't want to go back to school. So I ain't gonna go back to become a therapist. So coaching seemed like a independent, indirect route to do what I love to do, which is empower people and use these principles that I've learned on my journey and do it and also get paid to do it, right? And so that's how the concept behind coaching came. Now, when I decided to become a coach, I was like, okay, what do I just talk with? And you know, so I started to then search like different systems and methodology behind coaching. And I chose NLP, which is what it's crazy. Every time I bring up his name, I mean, when I think about this person, I forget his name. Tony Robbins. There we go. Tony Robbins uses NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, And so I chose the methodology of NLP because I just loved what it stands for, what it's about. Tony Robbins uses it. You know, I respect him and what he does in his books. And so, and for me, it's like it was something that I would say it's rooted in, and it's rooted and it's stood the test of time. It wasn't like somebody last year came up with it. And not even saying that that doesn't mean it's valid because whoever came up with it last year. But what I'm saying is it seems something solid with a history, with some big names, quote unquote, big names behind it. And so I chose NLP. And so that's how I became an empowerment coach. You know, some people call it life coach. I like to use empowerment coach because I don't help nobody. I empower people. You know, a real coach doesn't tell you what to do. A real coach just points out things that you're not seeing, and you tell yourself what to do based on that. That's how I see it. So that's the aspect behind coaching. What was the other question?
Speaking, yeah, it's
Speaking.
speaking experience, yes.
Yeah, so speaking is similar. I always tell this story. For anybody in the audience that knows me, they've heard the story before. They know this before about me. So you know what's funny, King? There was a time where I hated my voice. Like I always wanted like a thorough, rugged, deep voice, like the people around me. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes, man, yo, they talk like this. You know what I mean? Like real gutter, deep voice. Like I wanted a voice like that. I got this mid-range, high voice that sometimes is deep and sometimes it's high and fluctuates. I was like, yo, you know. So there was a point in time that I hated my voice, bro, and I didn't start appreciating it until people would tell me, like, yo, you don't even need a microphone. Like the way your voice is, it projects. You know, people would say, like, yo, out of everybody that spoke, we understood you the clearest. And so I learned, like, wow, like what I hated actually is perfect for what I do. So how did I get into speaking? I come from, I used to do poetry, I used to MC. And so I was also vocal, was always pretty much vocal. And so, like, not afraid to speak up and whatnot. So I was kind of always already speaking. It just wasn't organized or established yet. And then Liberation School, you know, we spoke about Liberation School. I was the head speaker of Liberation School. That's when really I was like, like really, okay, I'm a speaker. And that was really born out of people telling me I should speak and people requesting me to speak. I fell into speaking because of other people. I never really, besides wanting to do poetry and wanting to be an MC, which has aspects of speaking in it. I actually fell into speaking. I have to thank people, um, because they're the ones that really pushed me to speak. And it started. It didn't even start. It was everywhere. Like even when I was in college, my professor, you know, was like, "Yo, I remember one time my physics professor. I did a presentation. My physics professor was like, "Yo, True, I want you to stay after class." So I was like, "Oh, all right, you know, yo, all right, yo." I had the people laughing. The people seemed like they was into what I was into, but I guess he got some critique that was so hard that he didn't even want to say it in front of people. Right? That's what I'm thinking the worst. He pulled me aside. He was like, "Yo, I'm not even supposed to tell you this because I represent, you know what I'm saying, the major that you're in." He was like, "Yo, you are in the wrong field. You are in the wrong major. All of that. You need to be speaking." Now that's before Liberation School, before, oh, you know what I'm saying? All of that. And so again, just letting you know that I became a speaker because people requested me to speak, and now I speak. And now I do it intentional by coming up with like speaking points and programs, and you know, recording myself on social media and whatnot, and just really strive to again, it's just another branch of who I am and what I represent in terms of pouring into my community and the world at large.
to the last point, tell us about this amazing, transformative podcast.
Yeah, Raw Success Podcast. So I have to say this because this is a good story, I think. Raw Success Podcast is actually my second podcast. I had another podcast that I was doing by myself called Food for Thought. And due to life challenges, excuse me, I fell off, you know what I'm saying? And not purposely, but life. So I used to drop every Friday, and life got really challenging, and I fell behind one episode, two episodes, three episodes, and then more challenges came, and I started to look at my life and be like, I got to get rid of all the extra stuff that's taking away my time and get to the bag. So remember earlier I spoke about how I fell into a depression because I wasn't doing my purpose. The podcast was one of those things that I stopped doing. And so in the pursuit of money, because I'm a man and I need to provide for my family, and we fell on some hard times. And so make a long story short, I was like, yo, I got to get back into podcasting because I remember really enjoying it, like really, again, feeling good from a vibrational standpoint. Again, like feeling like, yo, I was born to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like I could be tired and after a podcast be like lifted up, feeling great, feeling amazed. Like, yo, I could record 3 more episodes. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. So this time I wanted to partner up with somebody because I didn't want to just rely on guests. I wanted the podcast to be something where I can have a conversation with people because although I'm a speaker, I think I do better in conversations. You know what I'm saying? And so I sought out a host. You know what I'm saying? That was the strategic, and so we came up with Raw Success. And I came up with Raw Success because I wanted to reveal what the journey of success is really like. Because there's a lot of people in social media world that are fronting these fake gurus, or they want to, make it seem like it's easy. And I know because I'm on the ground with men. I'm on the ground with young men, the youth, and I'm in tune with how they view the world and how they think. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them are becoming fed up and even giving up because they thought things were supposed to be easier, or things were they weren't what they appeared to be. And so Raw Success, the title says it all, Raw Success. So I want to highlight what the real journey is like from different perspectives of success. I adopted Earl Nightingale's definition of success, which is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So if you wanted to become a janitor and you became a janitor, you're a success. If you wanted to become a stay-at-home mom, and you're that, and you're happy, you're a success. If you wanted to become a millionaire and you're a millionaire now working for a Fortune 500 company, you're a success. If you overcame the trials and tribulations of the streets and now you're living a better life, you're a success. So I wanted to highlight different aspects of success, whether it's entrepreneurship, personal development, trauma, drug use, all types of things. And so yeah, that's what we're about. We're doing pretty well. We're growing, and I'm looking forward to see what the future holds for Raw Success. If you want to see me in my element and see me in conversations with other people, you can check me out on YouTube or any other streaming platform. Raw Success Podcast. You can find me.
Greatest moment in one great moment in your speaking journey, one great moment in your coach journey, and one great moment in your podcast journey.
One great moment in my speaking journey. I've had so many. One great moment in my speaking journey would probably be when a mother came up to me with tears in her eyes saying that she wishes her oldest son who was in prison was here to listen to my message. That would probably be one of my greatest moments speaking. You know, that brought tears to my eyes too. You know, so and you said that was the speaking one. You said podcast. Like one great moment on the podcast journey. Um, I'm going to say when we got a negative comment. And the reason that was a great moment for me is because number one, I didn't spaz. Number two, it made me realize like, wow, we must be growing. You know what I mean? Like when you start to get negative feedback and people throwing stones, that means you're now growing outside of your immediate circle. So that was actually a great moment for me because I was proud of how I handled it. And that's also because my co-host assisted with calming me down and not reacting to the comment. But also it just let me know like, okay, we're out there. You know what I'm saying? I know that may not be like a typical answer that, someone might say, but for me, that was a great moment. And was there another one? Forgive me. Or just those two?
You said the coach journey, the
Oh,
speaker
the coach
journey,
journey.
coach
The
journey,
coach
coach
the
journey.
coach the
Yeah.
coach journey is when a client of mine, I did some hypnotherapy. So I'm trained in hypnotherapy. Um and so I did some hypnotherapy with a man, and a lot of tears came out, crying and everything. And he expressed how he has released his pain and trauma through my works. And he was a tough one, been through a lot. And we so yeah, man. And yeah, I would say that, man, just him really truly expressing, and I tap in with him to this day because this is a thing as a coach. I don't want to, if I keep you as a client for a long time, I'm not a good coach. We're not therapists. We ain't trying to keep, like I ain't trying to take your money for the rest of your life. Unless you have another issue or another goal or something different, then yeah, come back. But if we're still dealing with the same thing, then I'm not an effective coach. You know what I'm saying? And you need to fire me as a coach. But I would say that, man, you know what it is, man, when a grown man, you know what I'm saying, comes to you with tears and tells you like that your works, and what I say, it's me. I definitely played a part, but really he did the work. He did the work. Like, again, I told you our job is for the, like I tell people, you're gonna work. If you ain't ready to work, I'm gonna give you assignments. If you ain't ready to do all of that, then I ain't working with you, because right now I got 100% success rate, and I want to keep it like that. And that's only because the people that I work with they do the work. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't playing no games. I will fire you as a client. And so yeah, I would say that, man. You know what I'm saying? So even though the coaching, I have not been able to make the coaching excuse me, my coaching business a profitable business to the point where I can leave my full time, it pays me. I can't put a dollar amount to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. And coaching for me, because of the way I treat it and take it, it's tough work, bro. It's tough work. I'm actually gonna up my price. I'm gonna increase my prices. You know what I'm saying? And that's some self work that I had to do on myself too. When my coach, when my business coach, when I got my certification and everything, when I told him how much I was charging, he was like, "True, you bugging." He looked at me serious, like he was like, "You charging that?" And I was like, "Well, the thing is, right? The thing is, right? I always keep my people in mind with everything I do. I just told you, bro. I could have turned this into a very complicated encyclopedia style book. I'm very capable of doing that, Knowledge Born. You hear me? Trust me, I can do that. But my mission and purpose, I'm speaking to a specific demographic, not limited to, but I'm speaking to a specific demographic. And so I always keep that in mind. So I strive to keep my prices somewhat affordable. But you know, it's because of the way the commitment that I put in, and and everything else I have going on. I'm actually about to increase my prices. It's almost like the way I'm about to increase my prices, if you seek me out, you really want coaching by me. That's like, I'm not trying to sound crazy, bro. Seriously, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but I wanted to say that there's also some healing work that I had to do with valuing who I am and what I bring to the table, and being okay with increasing my prices, and being okay with knowing my worth and the work that I do. You know what I'm saying? And everything I do, bro, is supreme, bro. I'm not saying I'm the best. Hear me out. You know what I mean? Because I think people be hearing that and thinking like it's arrogant talk or nothing. Like no, I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm saying what I bring to the table is going to be supreme. And if you work with me or you know me personally, you know I don't play. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing up, and I'm showing up correct. And so with that being said, man, like like I'm learning and working through that and knowing my worth.
That is a hurdle and an obstacle that turns into a blessing. Word is bond. You see what I'm saying? A hurdle and an obstacle that turns into a blessing in the ink is short-term pain for long-term gain.
Let's get it.
1,000%.
I like
Knowing
that.
your,
I like that.
I
Hold
got
up.
it.
Say that
I got it.
again. Shorts
I
and
got it.
pain for
Short-term
long.
pain for long-term gain. Yeah,
I like that. I'm gonna start saying that.
it's yours. I got it from you. You know what I'm saying? Another one I got from you was I align my mind with universal principles. You understand what I'm
That's
saying?
crazy. I'll be
Yeah.
saying stuff and be forgetting what I'll be saying. Yo, that's
I
what's
mean, that
up.
was it. That was it. So,
Word.
final thoughts, acknowledgement, shout outs, all of that. You see what I'm saying? But the fan been in here, Bomani O, Adenike, everybody and their mama in here right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Word. Yeah.
The whole fam done pulled up. You see what I'm saying? So
That's
Mr. Atlas,
beautiful.
everybody, Baja, the whole fam in there, they saluting and showing love. You see what I'm
Oh
saying? So
man, that's beautiful. Yo,
final thoughts,
but-
acknowledgement, shout outs, where they could find you, how they could tune into you, where they could get the book,
yeah,
the whole
yeah.
nine.
I appreciate that, man. And let me say this first and foremost, like my family in the building. I can't see the names. I would have been shouted them out if I can see the names. I want to say first and foremost, man, I want to shout them out because everybody that you name, you know what I'm saying, has played a crucial role in some capacity. I mean, let's talk Adenike. Adenike knew me during that whole journey I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, when I first met Adenike, brother Culture, the very first day we met, we got caught in one of my stolen cars. We got arrested. You know what I'm saying? So we bug off of that. Like, damn, True, first day I met you, you got me arrested. You know what I'm saying? So Nika has witnessed to a lot of the stuff that I mentioned. You know what I'm saying? We were like her crazy little brother friends and whatnot. But yeah, I just want to shout out everybody, you know what I'm saying, for their investment in me. A lot of people use the word support. Nothing wrong with that word. But what I want people to know that you're not just supporting me, you're investing in me. And when you invest in me, I'm able to live out my purpose. And I can't describe the feeling, the feeling that I get from living out my purpose. Like people benefit, obviously, and I benefit, obviously. But there's a feeling and a vibration that comes with that I cannot explain. I just told you, when I wasn't living my purpose, I went into a depression. And so I want to thank everybody in the chat for investing in me, so whether and I ain't talking about spending $50 for a hoodie, you know what I'm saying? Although that's important too, you know what I mean? Putting your money where your mouth is. But for me, it's just like the energy behind it, because I've struggled with knowing my worth. Like I mentioned, I struggled with self-doubt. And so when you have a strong support system, now I think that that's a good word to use, who are willing to put their money where their mouth is and are willing to invest in you, whether it's financially or invest in you by giving you connections and ideas or teaching you how to do things or just being there for you when you're going through something. You know what I'm saying? That's huge for me. That's huge for me. So I just want to say to the people on the chat that I know personally, thank you so much for investing in me and believing in me and assisting me on this journey on whatever capacity. And obviously, Bomani and Omawali, they were part of Liberation School. There would be no Liberation School without them and whatnot. So huge shout out to them, you know what I'm saying, and allowing me to, be a part of, some of the things that we were proud of that I'm choosing to not say because of the work that I do in the schools. And I want to shout out my family, you know what I'm saying, because they sacrifice a lot for me to be able to do what I do, especially my wife, you know what I'm saying? And it's something that her and I still struggle with, finding the harmony with all, where she gets time for herself, I get for myself, and then we're managing children and finances and all of that, man. So, and it's not easy to be with a man like me. I have a lot of energy, I have a lot of ideas, and I've spent thousands of dollars on things that flopped, you know what I'm saying? And so it's, like I said earlier, my family definitely experiences, the sacrifices along with me behind the scenes. And just want to shout out to just overall, the people who are striving to be better versions of themselves. Just know that I'm on this battlefield with you, and by you striving to be a better version of yourself, you inspire me to be a better version of myself. So shout out to the builders and everyone who is, how do I say this? Who is willing to give me a chance. Yeah, I'll say that. Shout out to you, brother, for, like I said, I just said it, giving me a chance. You gave me a chance by allowing me to be on your platform, bro. And I don't take that lightly. For me, I tell everybody this, right? Well, I'm speaking to 1,000 people, and I've spoken to 1,000 people before at a prison, or 10 people, 5 people, or 1 people. Like I said, yo, Knowledge Born, you don't know me personally like that, but bro, I don't play. I'm showing up like there's a million people, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking this, to me, this is a chance, bro. And this is an opportunity that you gave me. I don't take that lightly. So shout out to you too, bro, for giving me a chance and opportunity. Yeah, man. Salute to the
Long
Warriors.
awaited, man. Long awaited, highly anticipated. See what I'm saying?
Yo, that song, Omawali, send me that song. I don't know if Omawali's still on. That song, bro, that came on in the introduction, that joke is fire. But you had me here like I'm about to do some push-ups. That song is fire, bro.
Word, word. So peace to you and your righteous endeavors and your laudable attempts at transformation from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? May the Most High, may our ancestors protect you and your family and continuously aid y'all in your path of ascension. You see what I'm saying? Ascension and redemption.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I want to say this too, bro. You mentioned the brother Born Power, Mr. Atlas, man. Mr. Atlas is a great friend. Like I always say, if I needed food, clothing, and shelter, I know I could knock on Mr. Atlas' door. You say he was on the chat. I don't know if he still is. So I just want to say that's what that brother mean to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I can knock on his door and he'll be like, he won't even ask no questions. You know what I'm saying? He'll be like, yo, come in. The couch is right there. You want something to eat? You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. I just appreciate having men like that in my life. I don't take that lightly, bro. Like I have friends that are no longer here. So I'm just someone that really know, like I appreciate people. You know what I'm saying? Word. Let's get it.
Word. So we out. Ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, I could talk all day, bro, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm getting comfortable. All right, you know what I mean? Nah, go ahead, my brother. Do your thing. Yo, peace and power. Yo, man, be the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And just know that you were born here to do something. And it's not just work. It's not just work for somebody. You know what I'm saying? You were born here to do something. And if you don't know what that something is, work to find that. There's a saying that I always say, for lack of a better word. 2 most important days of your life, man. You know what I'm saying? The day you were born and the day you found out why. Find out why. There's something in you. There's something in you. You know what I'm saying? And I commend you for working, especially if you're a man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's masculine. To provide is masculine. But you were also born here to do something. You know, work on finding out why.
Most definitely. We out of here. The great True Khepra, man. Raw Success Podcast.
Bang, 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 bang.
Peace.
Peace.
In 1992, I met a brother by the name of I Civilized from Neptune, New Jersey. Mr. Atlas, my name concealed carry advocator. Principally drawing lines as effective as the equator. The curator of enhanced data, fluent narrator. With the potency of a power plant's generator. I'm born powerfully known by my nation's nomenclature. Born and raised in the same city as naughty by nature. With dicky suits, machetes, and bats were indicators of rapid fire patterns from certified gladiators. I studied Coogee rap and KRS through adolescence. Kane, Rakim, Allah plus wise intelligence is presence. Then embodied my self-style wisdom of manifesting. Now me, I got crew, kid, 7 in the crescent. And universal sham got a law, created my flag. We unlock master for raw lessons with supreme math. I'm training to be rewarded for 4 devils. For the promise of freedom as long as we breathe and don't settle. Have you not heard that your word shall be bond regardless to whom or what? Yes, my word is bond and bond is life. And I will give my life before my word shall fail.
Wake up every morning, you wipe my socks, 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 nationwide rockers like it world stampede.
Peace to the minister, Ali, Jakim, Allah, for raising my educator, righteous life, Allah. In the fine mist, the naked I can hardly detect. We've assembled components for warriors to connect. Victoriously elect the glorious BKF. Defense strategists for slavery's descendants to the death. You take hysterical breaths, I calmly sever your best. A more than credible test, I'm quintessentially fresh. May I suggest, take time, fine tune your reps. It's now nation to end, supreme alphabets. Universal sham got a law, created my flag. You dropped yours to be with the Sunni, you confuse me. And if the civilized doesn't perform their duty, the self-savior lesson says there's a severe penalty. So I move accordingly. The knowledge build destroy degree gives us a metrics to rule our circumference. Most importantly, what is the meaning of civilization? One having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. Teach God.
Wake up every morning, you wipe my socks, 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 nationwide rockers like it world stampede.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them.
We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African, I'm a African, I'm a African, I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm a African, I'm a African, I'm a African, I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.